right, we are back on the press box on GoMileHigh.com, a part of Be On Air Network. Last night,
I started that trend. You're welcome.
you are, yes.
It always just reminds me of the SpongeBob.
God dang it. I was pulling that up on my phone, dude.
So last night, the Nuggets went to Memphis and took an L on the way out. And I don't know if you guys, I know I had to put it in there, but
I don't like it.
I don't know if you
one
guys
bit.
watched it last night, but it was a really sloppy game by Denver.
Oh, gosh.
There was a lot of turnovers in the beginning part of the game. But one of the biggest stats I saw last night, Memphis had 76 points in the paint to Denver's 22 points in the paint.
At one point in the game, and actually it wasn't at one point in the game. In the first quarter, the Nuggets were outscored in the paint 22-0.
Yeah.
That is terrible. I've never seen that before.
It was probably definitely their worst first quarter I've ever seen them play in a very long time, if that. But it was just sloppy play. There were players coming off the bench that really didn't, participate as well.
Yeah, and there was that. Did you see the first 3 consecutive plays on both sides where the Grizzlies alley-ooped it to, I don't even know who it was, and
Brandon Clark,
completely missed the alley-oop. Nuggets get the rebound, run back down the floor. Same thing. Alley-oop to Jeremy Grant.
I think it was, Jokic put it up to Jeremy Grant.
I think it was Jeremy Grant.
And
Yeah,
Jeremy
Jeremy Grant misses.
Mm.
So then Will Barton saves the ball to Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson then goes down the floor, throws up an alley-oop. However, they did finish the third one. But, dude, to your point, overall, both teams in the first quarter, it was such sloppy basketball. I was listening to Kaz with the radio call, and it was like he wasn't even excited about the game because it was so sloppy in the first half. So I don't know how they fixed that. I don't know if it was a big man thing while we still don't have Plumlee and Millsap and we're using Jeremy Grant as our 6 and Vanderbilt. I don't know if he actually got into the game last night, but
no, did he?
he was running the 5 in the game before. So I just don't know what Mike Malone's going to do with all of these big men out, because you can't go down 22-0 in the first quarter.
How long was
in the
Plumlee
paint.
out for?
2 to 4 weeks. So
4 weeks.
Probably
that's
till
why
All-Star game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I think you might need to make a trade for a big man to honestly keep you afloat in the playoffs, because it's so tight 1-8 right now that you can't lose. You can't afford to lose 4 or 5 games in a row.
No.
Especially
right
how
now.
close we're at All-Star break, too.
Not to mention our next 4 games. I'm going to pull it up. I know we play the Jazz next.
Yeah.
That's going to be...
It's a brutal schedule. I'll pull it up here real quick.
But yeah, in that Memphis game, though, too, Denver went 17 for 45 from three-pointers to Memphis's 6 out of 18. So you know that Denver is pretty much built like Golden State of shooting threes, passing the ball. But when those threes aren't hitting, you could definitely tell that this team goes nowhere.
Mhm.
And Scott Hastings said, if you're not, making buckets, this team relies on the buckets to be made.
Well, yeah, and it's like they had a decent shooting night from 3 at least, but you still lose by 15 or whatever, so...
You also lost to a team that you should have beaten.
Yeah, at
And
least-
especially last year after the 20-point comeback.
If there's anything to say that they maybe shouldn't have won this game, it's because it was in Memphis, because road wins in the NBA are hard to come by anywhere. But you're absolutely right.
When you're a 4 and you're playing an 8
You're
right
absolutely
now in the
right, yeah.
seed, especially for a team who I believe has more losses than wins. Yeah, they're 23 and 24. And you're 32 and 15. This is one of those games that but this is what we've been talking about the entire Nuggets season, where they beat the teams. They beat the Rockets twice. They're beating the teams that are either with them in the standings or ahead of them in the
You're
standings.
beating teams above 500 and losing once
and,
under.
and then you just get embarrassed by these bottom feeders. Like, it's not good. They finally beat the Pelicans over the weekend, and three attempts.
Yeah, finally. And
it was against Zion, too.
Like,
yeah,
I hate to say it, but like I said this earlier in the season, where this has become this team's identity. Where I don't know if it's you just fall asleep during these games and think you're just going to win handedly, or you just underprepare, and the other team is overprepared to play you. But you're dropping these significant games that you should not be even. It shouldn't even be close in terms of overall score.
I want to. Sorry, I was going to bring something up real quick. Have you guys followed? I assume you follow the NBA on Instagram.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed when the Nuggets win these big games, they're always the last team on the slide, but when they lose, they're always the first team on the slide?
I didn't
It's like
really
they
notice that,
never
honestly.
give them the credit when they get these big road wins.
Well,
They're always the last one.
They
then
only get the
lose.
credit when they lose to
Exactly.
the weak teams.
And you know why that is because they lost that game to Portland in the to go to the Western Conference Finals. You make it to the Western Conference Finals, you make a better name for yourself. You get more national TV. You
Yeah.
get more national attention than you do
And Portland's
now.
always on the front when they lose. and win. It's-
But
Yeah.
back to Andrew's point, I agree with that completely with every other team. But the only reason, and I'm really just saying that this as hope, honestly, the only reason I disagree with the Grizzlies is they were 8-2 in their last 10 games coming into last night. I just think they were really hot. I think overall, especially since they held Ja Morant to a not so good night as he usually has. Dylan
I
Brooks
mean,
just
it-
went off. He had 24.
Oh my god!
See,
he had a
like
great
that-
players
game.
like
That's
that. It's
another
like
thing. They keep the players that you need to keep in track. Like you they kept freaking
Luka.
Luka. Yeah, Luka.
Yeah, he had 9.
The Houston Rockets. Name is
James Harden.
They keep
Yeah.
James Harden intact, and then they let some number 6 guy off the bench go for
Number
30.
10 guy, not even the number 6.
Yeah.
Like
man.
they lose the games
They're on the
where,
bench
where
players.
they keep,
Yeah.
they lose the games where they keep the biggest stars intact, and then the nobody comes out and just drops a dime.
So
Like
then,
something's
do we
gonna
think
be
this is
worse.
a bench issue then, or do we think it's just an overall team?
It's got to be a team issue.
Yeah.
Because
It's no-
if these guys that aren't performing, it's like this was the worst first quarter we've seen. Usually they're hot
Yeah.
in the first quarter, and if these starters are doing this, still it's a full team issue. It's not bench. Bench is coming off and trying their best, but they can feel how the team's doing. Like, they can feel them emotionally, and that's going to spread out to them. That's going to move on to them, so they're all
Yeah.
going to feel that same way.
I think it's a mentality issue.
Exactly,
We've
yes.
we've said this.
Okay.
I mean, this term has been thrown around so much since Sunday. The Mamba mentality and how it's needed, especially in this sport where it became coined by Kobe Bryant. This team, this should be a top division team in the Denver Nuggets. Just lacks that killer instinct to go for the kill when it needs to be made.
Exactly, and you need that killer for any team to go
Yeah.
far in the playoffs because you look at the top teams, you have a Giannis, a LeBron, a Kawhi. You know, all of them are
Or even like
are bona fide
like
killers. quote
Dame,
unquote.
Damian Lillard. Like
Yeah.
Dame,
for all
exactly.
all of the trash that was thrown about the weak shot that made last year against I believe
OKC.
OKC. How everybody was talking how it was a garbage shot. They don't have a guy that can make a shot like that at all. At least Dame Time can have that has an instinct where I need to make this shot and I'm gonna freaking make it. The Nuggets don't have a guy like that.
You know what I also hate about that? Sorry. I hate that everybody says that was a garbage shot because everybody and their mom knew that Damian Lillard was taking that shot and Paul George still didn't get out there. All
yeah,
right,
Paul
that's it.
George
That's
just
all I
watched
have
him.
to say.
Yeah, so because earlier in the season, I said that this team relies on injuries because last year they had a couple injuries and showed promise. But now having Murray, Millsap, and Plumlee out, and now seeing these backups, and now make trade rumors. I mean, who do you see that needs to go? And are you satisfied with the backups?
I think Wancho needs to go, man.
Yeah,
This guy is just not performing well. This season is just not his. What is he like? Since December something I saw he's like 1 for 18 or something.
Wow,
on
I didn't even see
three-pointers.
that. That's awful.
It's horrible.
there was a bunch.
He
of
needs a
threes.
fresh start somewhere else, man.
Yeah, there was a bunch of threes last night that he was in the baseline. He had an open shot, took it, brick.
Mm-hmm.
Where Jeremy Grant's been in that same spot, hitting them. Michael Porter's been, a great
Porter's
addition.
trying so hard, dude.
But he's actually someone that I from the beginning didn't want him to start
Me
play,
too.
and now
Yeah.
he's shown me that
He's
okay, you're the
proven it.
guy. You can.
That's exactly what I said at the beginning of the season. I forgot who I said it to. He's like, you don't want him to start early on the season. Let him feel it.
Yeah.
Let him get a feel. Wait as he progresses to get more playing time. As soon as he did, I can see that he's ready to be a starter,
Oh,
and he has been,
definitely.
and he's been great.
I mean, he's the one guy that I can point to and say he's probably the most potentially the most prolific, dangerous point scorer that the Nuggets have had since Carmelo.
Yeah,
Like
you could say that.
this is a guy who it doesn't matter what he does or doesn't do defensively because his scoring upside is so elite that somebody else should be able to pick up even just slightly pick up the pressure. Just let MPJ just do his thing.
But what I absolutely love about Coach Malone is that would work, but he won't let him do that.
Mhm.
I've heard many, many interviews from Michael Porter that's like, I got to work on my defense. I have to
And
be
he
better
does.
at defense
He
in the
does.
NBA to stay in the NBA in order to get my offensive production. So I'm super excited to to keep him and have him going, and I really hope that he can honestly turn into that
Oh,
killer.
that would
that we
be
need.
so ideal. But even if he is just a point scorer with average to just slightly below average defense, like I'm completely fine with
Oh,
it just for
yeah.
the scoring output.
Yeah.
Just because they haven't had a guy like that.
No,
And we're
Like
going
we have
into-
Jokic, but Jokic
Yeah.
can't do that on a daily
He can't
basis.
have that
And he won't-
workload on him all the
he
time.
won't
Yeah.
force anything either. He'll
Yeah.
take his when it's there, and that's it.
You can't be the horse hauling everything.
Yeah,
Calm
and
the
Jamal
carriage.
Murray is just
Man's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
so,
frustrating.
I was, and it's. I believe once they get past this All-Star break, they're gonna do stuff in the break to get ready to come back into the second half and just start playing themselves, start
Yeah.
playing more like Nuggets basketball.
yeah. So real quick here, right before we wrap up here, we have tomorrow's game against Utah, 8:30 at home. This is the first meeting between the two. I think that Denver is going to pull off a win by 2 points. What do you think this win will be, Dylan?
Within 3 to 5.
5-5.
I'll go 5.
Matt,
I think they're gonna get blown out.
blown out.
Mhm.
Andrew,
I mean, they're facing a good team, so I'm expecting a 15-point win.
Awesome. Our next topic that we're going to be running into is a little baseball. It's warming up. This is the Press Box on GoMileHigh.com, a part of the On Air Network.
Every day, across this country, hundreds of college radio stations take to the air, broadcasting music and programming that you won't hear anywhere else.
It's one of the last places where people can really be able to actually say what they want to say.
Without it, you wouldn't have a place for local artists to perform. Certain people need to have a chance, a fighting chance, and college radio is that place for it.
College radio changes the lives of those who are involved with it and can change those who listen to it too.
This is where we start out, from getting all this great experience working in college radio. It makes you want to work in real radio.
College radio means finding yourself. It helped me find what I wanted to do in not only school but in life.
So support college radio by continuing to listen to this station and supporting the students who make it happen. College radio, now, more than ever. A message brought to you by this station and the College Radio Foundation. For more information, please visit collegeradio.org.
What does it take to be on air? It's not just a personality, though it does help. It takes drive, creativity, passion, and the willingness to develop yourself and truly find what makes you special. At Go Mile High, students are given this chance to become something great. You never know. Someone you're hearing right now could be the next big thing, and you could be the first to know how it all started. So keep listening, because you never know what's next on GoMileHigh.com.
I'm taking a trip over to Tibet, see the sights, climb a hill or two. But I remember, oh man, I got one guy out here who I actually know. So I give an old ringy-dingy to the Lama.
What?
The Dalai Lama, his laminescence, flowing robes, the grace, bald, striking really. I says to the Lama, hey, you remember that round I caddied for you down in Shangri-La? Well, apparently some station out in Lakewood taped the whole thing. See, the Lama's a big hitter. Nailed 2 eagles in a row that day. Well, he says, what station could have possibly gotten all the way out to my sacred holy lands, the Shangri? I says it was none other than GoMileHigh.com, Lama. They got the best sports coverage in the state. The Lama actually tips me this time, 2-1. So he pretty much stiffed me again. But I got him hooked on GoMileHigh.com. So I got that going for me, which is nice.
That's great.
GoMileHigh.com.
Hurry, young Popsy, we must make it back to Camelot so I can listen to GoMileHigh.com.
Oh, who goes there?
It is I, King Arthur on his mighty steed. Let me in the castle at once. I must get to my quarters to listen in to the best in Colorado's sports lifestyle programming.
But, sir, don't we live in medieval Wales?
No, Popsy, you mustn't ask questions when I'm listening about my beloved Broncos. GoMileHigh.com.
Welcome back. We are still here on the Press Box on GoMileHigh.com, a part of Be On Air Network.
I believe YouTube's up and running now.
YouTube is
I
going.
believe so.
We have a full house here. It feels like we got a keg here, man. Everyone's here to just
having a
join
raging
us.
kegger.
So yeah, baseball's just right around the corner.
Already.
2 weeks until pitchers and catchers report.
Which is crazy.
And then
Just-
18 days until full squad.
It's going to be.
Like,
I'm so excited. Me and
Spring
Andrew are the
training's-
only ones here smiling.
What you mean?
and then Tyler Day, who was supposed to be here today, he's off somewhere smiling, you know.
Yeah.
He's just thinking right now, man, I'm almost back. In spring training,
God,
man,
I'm so
one of the
ready.
best parts of the
Isn't
year.
he a season ticket holder too?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I believe he
But
said he was a season ticket holder, which is
seriously-
more of a fan than I
Hey,
am.
I know who I'm asking for
But just
tickets.
Side note with that, with all of the negative press Major League Baseball has gotten over the past couple of weeks, you know, with the Astros and the Red Sox and all that, I'm just so happy to finally be getting back to baseball. Like, just not talking about it, but it's just actually being able to watch live action. Like, I got goosebumps.
Yeah, and
That's
you're
good
still a
for
few weeks away, unfortunately.
And I actually have the count on my whiteboard back home. I actually have the daily countdown down to 57 days now.
Dude, you're gonna have to start doing daily Twitter posts so I can get in on that.
I do it
countdown. Just
every other
tag me.
day or so.
Just start a YouTube live stream on your channel with just a full countdown.
It's just the countdown. It's a video, 24 hours.
And then as soon as it just happens, you just end it. Just don't even do anything.
Yeah. But things are picking up for sure. There's news that are, dropping over the weekend in the last actually couple hours here. But one of the bigger news I heard from our PD, Josh Stover, is that the NL, by the end of 2021, may become a DH league or DH division.
So yeah, it would become a universal DH at the start of the 2021 season, which will be next season. Which honestly, I used to be skeptical of. I like the idea of managers being able to double or switch outs and being able to use pinch hitters, and the idea of Madison Bumgarner taking Clayton Kershaw deep is it helps me sleep at night.
Yeah, sure.
But for every Madison Bumgarner who can go deep with the best of the home run hitters, we have 5 Dakota Hudsons who might get one hit in 100 at bats.
Or Bartolo Colon.
Hey, his home run in San Diego is
that
still
was still the greatest home run of all time.
I've still seen that video.
It
on
took like
Twitter
a
at least,
minute
like
for him to
500.
trot around the bases.
It didn't end James Shields' career, but
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah,
But it did at the same time.
Yeah.
He
you
ruined
let
his self-esteem.
Bartolo Colon hit a home run off you. No one's picking you up.
Yeah.
His self-esteem was dropped faster than the coaches and the man and the GM of the Astros, dude.
Seriously, that was quick too, man. That was quick.
Yeah. Cheating? You're out.
But yeah, we got umpires are going to be mic'd up this year. And then
Whoa, I
Don't
didn't
forget
see that. That's
animatronic umpires.
Yep, and this question will kind of, I guess, sum up what we're going to be talking about. But a new manager got hired for the Astros, which I'll let Andrew talk about in a second. But with that hiring, where do you guys see the AL going? Who's going to win that division, and who's going to win the NL? Do you see the Astros making a third repeat going there? Do you see the Dodgers doing the same thing? Like, what are your guys' thoughts going in?
You're asking me to make some way too early predictions right here. Is what
For
you're
my
saying?
way too early prediction, which I'll probably change my mind and erase this tape later, we'll go. I think the Yankees are going to have a good shot at the AL again this year.
AL, okay.
AL, and if they're not riddled with injuries, maybe the Brewers.
No.
Ooh.
You don't think so?
They lost way too much in the offseason. They lost arguably the best catcher in baseball, and then they lost their third biggest bat from last year in not Yasmani Grandal, Mike Moustakas. Like they right
All right,
now
we're
they
gonna
were
scratch that. Man, that's hard, man.
Yeah.
Dodgers is always a favorable pick to go, but I hate the Dodgers.
That
man.
I mean, the last 2 years they technically could have won. But with the new hiring at the Astros, you and me were talking. Of
Who was it? What was his name again?
Dusty Baker was hired by the Astros today, which honestly is probably the best PR move they could have made. Dusty Baker is well respected. He's one of those guys who isn't a fiery personality, yet commands the most respect probably out of any manager currently managing in the game. This is going to be his 5th team throughout his managing career. The Astros, being
the cheaters they are.
The black sheep of the family right now in terms of how they're seen from other teams, from fans, from the media. Dusty Baker is going to kind of be the guy that takes the pressure off of the team when they're in New York and getting booed relentlessly or just any road game. You know, that's going to happen. Like, they're going to be booed relentlessly wherever they go outside of Houston.
Or are they going to suck him into the cheating?
And and also, if that becomes even an idea for the Astros to go back to doing whatever it is with the rumor of the buzzers.
Mm-hmm.
If that becomes a thing, when Dusty Baker finds out, he is going to nip that in the bud immediately. You know, AJ Hinch, he knew about the cheating. He wasn't a participant in it.
Yeah.
He didn't tell them to stop. Dusty Baker is the opposite. That won't be an issue.
You know who I would take as the manager? Who was the guy that Jason showed us? The guy that freaked out. You remember his name?
Oh man, I don't remember his name.
He was supposed to be the Mets manager. He was like front runner for a Mets manager, and then and then he just freaked out over his player getting thrown out. He started throwing bats onto the field, all the balls onto the field, cursing out the umpire, yelling at all the players. I think so.
No.
But
I'll look it up. We'll have it before the end.
But it is hilarious.
Okay.
But Matt, with Dusty Baker, right, his name?
Yeah.
What do you feel like this is a great move by the Astros, or do you think that this will bite them in the butt later on, or how do you feel about this new hiring?
I don't know that it'll bite them in the butt. I'm not sure it's the greatest hire they could have made, but it is the safe hire that they could have made. He doesn't have a World Series championship, so coming from a team who just won, not last year, but was in the World Series last year at least, but I thought they might look for I don't really have a name or anything, but I thought they might have looked for somebody else. He had like 3,500 some games in the NL, and he never managed in the AL, which is actually the most games ever managed in one league to move to the other. So that'll be kind of cool to see how he changes that. Things like the DH he never worked with, so I don't know how he'll personally do all that stuff and how he'll work his team. I think it was
take some time.
A safe move.
There's less strategy in the American League, which will help him.
Absolutely. I think it's a safe move, but I don't necessarily think it was the greatest move they could have made. The reason it would bite them in the butt is especially since their starting pitching isn't as great as it was last year, losing Garrett Cole. You're going to have to go to the bullpen a little sooner, and he's kind of been known to not be the greatest decision maker on changing pitchers and when to bring in certain players. So I don't know. It honestly depends how he manages his bullpen. I think that's really going to decide whether or not he can finally win a World Series.
Yeah. One other bit of baseball news that came out today was Chris Bryant officially lost his player I can't think of the word.
Grievance,
yeah, player grievance against Major League Baseball for the whole service time fiasco that was the 2015 season for the Chicago Cubs. Mm-hmm. Basically, Major League Baseball has this rule where if you don't have any MLB time, you haven't spent any time on a Major League roster, and you're basically like in KB, he was one of those guys where he was beyond ready to make it to the major leagues in 2015 off of the spring training roster. He was the best player on that spring training roster. Mm-hmm. He's the best player in all of minor league baseball the year before, but they used that clause in all rookie contracts where if they call him up halfway through the first month of the season, like let him start the season in the minors, call him up halfway through the month, they get a full another season of contract service time. So basically they own his contract for a whole another year. KB put in a player grievance his rookie year, 2015, and it just got dealt with today. Why it took 5 years is beyond me, but whatever.
Oh my God.
And so he lost that, which will allow him to become a free agent now after the 2021 season, as opposed to if he would have won after 2020.
Interesting. So has this ever happened before to like another big time players?
I remember hearing it.
All of them. It wasn't a big thing because KB was far and away the best minor league player. He needed to be on the roster opening day for that Cubs team. I mean, because they only lost the division by like 3 games that year. If he'd have had 14 games, different story.
And that was a great year for the Cubs.
Yeah,
because it was supposed to be. It was the Cubs is like the Back to the Future 2, where the Cubs were supposed to win in 2015.
Yeah, but every other big name free prospect that's come up has basically been dealt with that outside of Pete Alonso last year. I mean, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Francisco
Lindor.
Lindor. He was
Really?
the Carlos Correa, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Even all the way
How
up to
come you
this
don't hear
season,
about
we
these
saw.
more though? Like I don't.
Well, you hear about it a little bit
but
when
this
it
one's
happens.
really big. Though.
KB made a lot of noise
Yeah,
his rookie
he did.
year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
About needing to be on the roster, and
Yeah.
and the Cubs fans were furious.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's big
Yeah.
thing for him.
Although if
Okay.
I was a Cubs fan, I wouldn't be furious because you're literally just keeping him for another year.
Yeah.
But we saw Vlad
They just
have
want to
this
see
happen
him.
to him. We saw Tatis have this happen to him. So
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
The only one where the high touted prospect was brought up immediately off the out of spring training was Pete Alonso last year, and he hit 53 home runs.
Also, while we're on break, that
MVP.
manager's name is Wally Backman. Go
Yeah.
look him up on YouTube.
Look
All
it
right.
up. It is
Yep.
great.
Wally Backman.
Nice. So when we come back from break, we're going to be talking about Mount Rushmore, which it's not what you think it's going to be about. This is the Press Box on GoMileHigh.com, a part of Be On Air Network.
I'm taking a trip over to Tibet, see the sights, climb a hill or two. But I remember, oh man, I got one guy out here who I actually know. So I give an old ringy-dingy to the Lama.
What?
The Dalai Lama, his laminescence, flowing robes, the grace, bald, striking really. I says to the Lama, hey, you remember that round I caddied for you down in Shangri-La? Well, apparently some station out in Lakewood taped the whole thing. See, the Lama's a big hitter. Nailed 2 eagles in a row that day. Well, he says, what station could have possibly gotten all the way out to my sacred holy lands, the Shangri? I says it was none other than GoMileHigh.com, Lama. They got the best sports coverage in the state. The Lama actually tips me this time, 2-1. So he pretty much stiffed me again, but I got him hooked on GoMileHigh.com. So I got that going for me, which is nice.
That's great.
GoMileHigh.com.
What does it take to be on air? It's not just the personality, though it does help. It takes drive, creativity, passion, and the willingness to develop yourself and truly find what makes you special. At Go Mile High, students are given this chance to become something great. You never know. Someone you're hearing right now could be the next big thing, and you could be the first to know how it all started. So keep listening, because you never know what's next on GoMileHigh.com.
Every day, across this country, hundreds of college radio stations take to the air, broadcasting music and programming that you won't hear anywhere else.
It's one of the last places where people can really be able to actually say what they want to say.
Without it, you wouldn't have a place for local artists to perform. Certain people need to have a chance, a fighting chance, and college radio is that place for it.
College radio changes the lives of those who are involved with it and can change those who listen to it too.
This is where we start out, from getting all this great experience working in college radio. It makes you want to work in real radio.
College radio means finding yourself. It helped me find what I wanted to do in not only school but in life.
So support college radio by continuing to listen to this station and supporting the students who make it happen. College radio, now, more than ever. A message brought to you by this station and the College Radio Foundation. For more information, please visit collegeradio.org.
Young Papsy, we must make it back to Camelot so I can listen to GoMileHigh.com.
Oh, who goes there?
It is I, King Arthur on his mighty steed. Let me in the castle at once. I must get to my quarters to listen in to the best in Colorado's sports lifestyle programming.
But, sir, don't we live in medieval Wales?
No, Popsy, you mustn't ask questions when I'm listening about my beloved Broncos. GoMileHigh.com.
Welcome back to the Press Box on GoMileHigh.com, a part of Be On Air Network. This is our final segment, but the best segment.
Debatable.
Just
kidding.
No, dude.
You can't have
It
a
is.
baseball segment and call this one the best one.
Yeah,
This
see,
is
that's
the
where
greatest.
Okay.
I was like,
So Zach sent me something before. No, I'm just
No, you're right. So this segment here is called Mount Rushmore, and what Mount Rushmore is. Obviously, there's 4 heads on Mount Rushmore. So we're gonna
Wait,
pick
really?
a-
Aren't there missiles, nukes just hidden in Mount Rushmore?
I've only seen
They
the
open up
pictures.
at the neck.
Isn't that like Team America or something that they use Mount Rushmore?
See, now I'm picturing a Pez dispenser.
Right? Just little
the head
nukes.
lifts up and
I didn't mean to press that button.
So yeah,
I did.
So on this one, we're gonna be
Goodbye,
talking.
Chicago.
We're gonna be talking about Super Bowl food.
Super
that you
Super
would-
Bowl foods.
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl?
Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Let's go.
Super baller foods. There you go, dude.
So pretty much how it works, we're gonna rank them 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 being, your favorite
George
food.
Washington,
Yeah,
the number one president.
If he's on there, but I don't think he is. Is he?
I don't know my Mount Rushmores. I'm sorry. I'm not the greatest.
You
I've
just
never
know that
actually
Who's
been
on there
either.
actually?
Yeah.
I only
feel
know.
like-
I know Lincoln's on
I
there,
know
right?
Lincoln, Washington,
Roosevelt?
and
It is Washington.
yes, there's
It is
George
Washington.
Washington, Teddy Roosevelt. Is it Teddy?
No,
Yeah.
it's the first one.
Man, some people are
Franklin,
listening to
then.
us right
It's
now and be
FDR,
like,
then.
these idiots don't even know who's
That's
on
why
Mount
we're.
Rushmore.
That's why we're in media school.
That's
There we go.
It is Theodore Roosevelt, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. That's
My
right.
God.
That's when they get you.
My man's on a $2 bill.
Well, it's a $2 bill. Wait, what is cash? All I have is a debit card.
You want to see a $2 bill?
What's
Well,
There you go.
what's this green thing in my hand? Does this work for like a
Is what-
plastic credit card?
Is this what they call the Mary Jane?
so yes, we'll start on 4. I'll anyone wants to go first. I don't have to go first.
I'll go
so-
first.
All right.
No, wait.
Andrew got it.
Andrew got it.
Dang it,
Andrew
I was
got
going to
it.
read his list.
Hot wings.
Hot
Hot
wings.
wings.
Yeah,
Just-
I had to get it out there just so I can have it.
But that's 4.
I'm just ranking it so nobody else takes it.
You jerk.
Oh, hey, yeah. Let's say like
Is
we all
there-
name our foods and then we rank it.
Is it just the casual hot wings, like buffalo wings, or just?
Or are we going like habanero?
I'm not
ultra
going with
spicy?
flavor. I don't get.
You
one
just wanted to
specific
get
flavor.
wings.
I
out.
just
Just
need to
wanna
get
get
wings out
wings?
there just so I can. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's my favorite, and I'm gonna make sure I have it because it's kind of all I eat
All
at Super
right.
Bowl.
That's
Fair
fair.
enough.
Matt?
Matt, I'll let you go.
This is not my favorite, but I absolutely love it still. I'm gonna say bean dip. Bean dip.
I thought you were going to say pizza, and then I was going to be like, you going to deliver some pizzas
Come
for the
on,
Super
man.
Bowl?
You think I'm gonna say pizza? I have pizza every other day of my life. I'm not about to have it at the Super Bowl. No.
Bean dip. Is it like 7-layer, or is that just straight bean?
Just straight bean, man. Tostitos, little
The scoops.
not the chips, like the bean dip that they have. They have like the bean
yeah, I know
dip
what he's talking about.
Yes.
in the little plastic.
But you know what
like,
you eat with that?
hot or normal?
Instead of
hot, man. You put that thing in the
So-
microwave.
so-
You put some cheese over top of that thing.
So basically, what
Hey.
I'm hearing is wherever you watch the Super Bowl this year, PSA, make sure you have 2-ply.
hey, but
3-ply. Yeah.
But you don't use Tostino chips in that dip. Use on the border.
I do like on the border.
On the
personally.
border.
Dylan.
That gets me to mind, dude. Nachos.
What is on
Oh.
Like
your-
pizza. Pizza would be
Apparently,
pizza,
our sound guy don't like nachos.
pizza
huh?
would be the way to go usually. But like, if you could make like the best nachos, dude. Like, I forget who made them, but when we had nachos, you had the cheese, beef, like green chili, and then they just poured actual chili on top of it.
Dang it, now I'm hungry.
Right?
All right.
And I just ate.
That's why it's
And
the
yeah,
best
nachos are a
subject.
staple.
And we still got 10 minutes to go
Straight
to
up.
talk about food too, man.
and
yes,
then I'm here
sir.
for another hour.
Well, good luck to you, man.
Dylan, what's on your?
No, he just
I
said
just
he
said nachos.
Oh, he
So
said
it's-
nachos.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was.
But
just-
on the border chips, you got to specify that.
Okay.
All right. Well, mine will be stuffed jalapenos wrapped in bacon.
Jalapeno poppers, you mean? Or actual?
No,
Oh,
No,
you
jalapeno
grill.
poppers. That's different.
Yeah, get
jalapenos,
the
those are
cream
fried
cheese, wrap them up, put them on the grill.
Same thing.
Hear them
They're not the
squeal.
Ooh, they're
They
so
just
good.
taste better.
See, yeah, got my producer here just giving me 2 thumbs up. That means I think I won that round. huh?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go round number 4 goes to Zach there.
Gang, gang.
I already know what Zach's going to say next. I see his list.
Andrew, what's number 3?
I'm just gonna get my drink off the table too, so nobody else might not take it.
Okay.
Guinness.
Guinness.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
not gonna.
You're a
take
dark
that.
beer kind of guy?
Oh my gosh. My first Guinness I ever had. It was back in 2015. I was in Ireland.
Oh, so it's, yeah.
Like
That's different Guinness.
So they know
it is my go-to alcohol.
So when they
choice.
actually tap it, they know what they're doing in Ireland.
Yeah. And there is a difference.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I mean,
So then, is it much of a difference where like you can't have it as much when you're here, or like
It's
Do
still
you
my
still
go-to.
just
It's still my go-to
okay.
here, but
Okay.
like,
I just didn't know if it was one of those ones where it's like, I had it there and I can't have a single another one.
it's kind of like having
because
a
that one's so.
It's
special.
kind of like having glass bottled root beer. Like
It's
regular root beer is
honestly-
all right, but glass bottled root beer there's a different
Oh,
taste
I see what
to
you're
it.
saying.
Their own
Okay, that makes
brewed,
sense.
like if an actual place, like restaurant brews their own root beer and they have it on tap, dude.
Yeah, like on tap soda is different than when
Yeah.
it's in
Yeah,
a glass
yeah,
bottle.
you're
glass
right.
bottle
The
like
glass
that
bottle
just
is
seems
just-
more
Legit.
crisp.
I feel more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Except when I'm drinking out of a plastic bottle.
with Dr. Pepper in it, right?
Because I would definitely say like Guinness
Sounded
is one of my
good today.
favorites, but when you pour it upside down,
Product placement right there. Win some money.
Oh man,
Wait, what happens
Have you
when you
guys
pour it up?
had Not Your Dad's root beer?
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Oh, so good.
So
For
good.
real.
I thought it was not your grandma's root beer.
I was never good
It's
at
not
math.
your father's root beer. That's
Math,
what it's called,
okay.
right?
It's
Not
not
your
your root
father's.
beer. It's mine.
Grandfather's, yeah, it's not your grandfather's root
Anyways,
beer.
yeah, so
there
Guinness
it
is mine.
Matt, what is yours?
Um,
Third.
My third, I really like this one again. It might be, it is my favorite. I'm gonna say it so nobody takes it. Pigs in a Blanket. I love Pigs
That's
in a
on
Blanket.
his
man.
list.
That's on his list. Pigs in a Blanket are my favorite ever. Like I could eat 1,000,000 of those things, no joke. So that's my pick.
That's
Right, young man.
Thanks, Coach O. I appreciate
Go
that.
Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Oh, I'd have to go with what are those? Little Smokies.
Oh, those are good too,
Little
man.
Smokies, dude.
Those are good too.
Like the
Oh
small.
my god.
Like you put them like the barbecue sauce. Or
Yeah,
whatever
like
you,
like they actually come with the barbecue sauce. Little Smokies. What would you put?
I put mini weenies.
It's not the same thing. It's
That's like that. That's
yeah.
the same idea.
It's like but it's like
But they're called Little Smokies.
Little Smokies.
Are they?
Yeah,
they
they're
are,
actually
dude.
called Little Smokies.
Literally on the package it says Little Smokies.
I don't know. I let my mom cook them. I'm like,
Fair enough.
Little
what you gotta
Smokies is
do.
one up there for
Fair
me.
enough, man.
so mine. That was yours, right?
Mhm.
So mine, mixed vegetables with like hummus, bro. You get the carrots.
Thank you. I was about to say it if he didn't.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get the carrots, celery, broccoli.
Okay, yeah. If you throw celery in there, I'm in.
like
Bro,
that mixed vegetable.
You do
Yeah,
realize
I hate
this
you
is
now.
the Super Bowl, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey, you have to have some variety. Hey, don't leave me hanging.
See,
I'm a health nut.
This man.
just
I'm
stuck
always up
here.
for some celery with some ranch.
so you go in there.
Dude, hey, if you have
That was my next choice.
you gotta
Thank
have
Zach.
you gotta have variety at these parties. You gotta have like all this unhealthy
Yeah.
stuff, and you have the platter with the celery, the tomatoes, the
okay,
broccoli.
you have it, but nobody touches it.
Oh,
it's
oh.
just
Are you kidding?
bowl. What are you guys talking
It's gone
about?
before anything else. I swear.
Serious.
I'm never going to any of y'all Super Bowl parties because that's where
You're not invited.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not invited anyways.
If I see crudité at a
I don't.
Super
I
Bowl
don't have
party,
to
I'm
apply. You
leaving.
can't come over.
Yeah, all right, fine. I'm fine with that.
Hey,
If
hey,
there's
hey.
crudité at your party.
If you ain't all about that vegetable life, then you ain't coming over.
Do you see me, man? I am not about that vegetable life. If you,
About that pizza
obviously,
life.
our listeners can't.
That's-
I'm about 290 pounds or something.
It's
Man.
the cheat code. You go in there with the vegetables. You're like, oh, I'm eating healthy today, and then you go and
Thank you. Thank you.
you guys were dropped as children. That's all I have to say.
You know what?
Honestly.
You're not wrong either. So
Whoa, okay.
Andrew, what is your number 2?
Pepperoni pizza.
Okay.
lame. I'm just saying that because I work for Pizza Hut.
I'm sorry.
Lame. No,
Hey,
that's-
he took my answer, so I had to come up with something.
that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yeah, pepperoni pizza.
That's good.
So
Pepperoni's good.
it has to be pepperoni though.
Yeah.
You don't eat any other pizza that's not
Correct.
pepperoni. That just like overall or Super Bowl.
That's just overall.
Okay.
It's
That's
because
fair.
it's
That's
the
what my-
global. Like, if it's pepperoni, everybody's gonna eat it.
Yeah.
I like when Domino's did the Brooklyn style, like the fat pepperoni.
Or
Oh
Little
my
Caesars.
God.
Little Caesars,
Exactly.
dude. If I'm feeling cheap and I want to go get a cheap pizza, get the loaded pepperoni at Little Caesars.
Oh, Little Caesars
Yeah.
crazy bread too. While you're at it,
Oh
I
my
love
God.
that crazy
Like
bread.
$8.
Matt, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is going to be. I'm gonna do drink, but
That's fair.
it's not. It's not like everybody has this. This is more of like a my tradition thing. I want to say. I always have a Mountain Dew on the Super Bowl. I don't know why. I just always have.
Mountain Dew's good.
I love Mountain Dew anyways, and ever since it actually hasn't been always. It's been since that 2013 Broncos Super Bowl. I was over at my buddy's house.
The one we don't talk about.
The one we don't talk about.
Yeah, no.
sorry. I was over at my
When
buddy's
people
house.
say never
watching it.
forget, we forget.
Yeah, right. And I
There's
think
a reason
we
Denver
had
has so
some
many
sort of-
breweries.
Yeah, right. We had some sort of bet where me and my buddy were like, who can drink the most Mountain Dew cups in under like 2 minutes or something like
God.
that. He won, but ever since then, They've always had Mountain Dew.
Dude, just listening to that gave me diabetes.
Right? Hey, but for me, it's like he said pepperoni, right? Sausage pizza is the way to go for me. That's mine.
You can't have a sausage pizza and a pepperoni pizza on the Mount Rushmore.
But then you go sausage pepperoni. You combine. That's my favorite way to go for pizza. Is sausage
Hey,
pepperoni.
I'm basic.
Zach,
Sue me.
Zach's our host here, so I'll let him
Meat
have the
lovers
final
is-
decision.
meat
I'm going to
lovers
say
is
I
good.
vote that Dylan has to pick another food.
I have to agree.
That's why
We'll
it's so
come
good.
back
All
to
right, let's check the list, Zach.
But I gotta ask, what about pepperoni on said or bacon on said pizza?
That
Not a
I'm
fan.
okay with.
I'm okay with
We're
it
not getting
personally.
into this topic because I'm going to bring up pineapple. We're not going to talk.
I'm
All right.
I'm a
I'll
meat
go-
lover, man.
Hey,
So
okay, let me choose my other one
I
then.
heard- yeah.
Chili. Just regular chili.
Okay, chili's pretty good.
Dang it, man.
Is that your next one?
That's my one.
Mine is gonna be chips and guacamole, dude. Just straight
That's the
up.
same thing as bean dip and chips.
It really
No.
is.
And then your last one.
Burritos.
Well, mine was going to be chili, so I don't know, like burgers.
A good old fashioned Coca-Cola for my drink.
Oh, nice. So my Mount Rushmore of all is ribs. Ribs.
I wanted to say
Ribs,
just to piss
man.
you off,
I
but I
honestly
didn't.
never had ribs at the Super Bowl. I'm gonna have to do that.
It doesn't
gotta
seem like a
try
party
it.
food.
I'm gonna try.
All right,
it.
we're
It
going
doesn't
over
seem
to
like a party
Zach's. No,
food.
wait, we'll be
It's
here.
always a party food, man. Ribs are ribs.
I guess I'm going to long parties.
Well, that was the best segment I think we did so far. You know.
Now
I
I'm
think
hungry
that's the
again,
best
man.
segment we've had since we came to this school, man.
Honestly, dude.
Well, I
I've
want
had some good ones. What are you talking about?
Hey, that means next week we got to come with a smorgasbord of all these foods.
I want to thank Dylan,
I'm a broke
Matt,
college student.
Andrew, or PD, Josh Dover, and all the boys that came in today. I'm your host, Zach Ducello. This is the Press Box on GoMileHigh.com, a part of Be On Air Network.
Can't say that. We're all.
So I'm taking a trip over to Tibet, you know, see the sights, climb a hill or two. But I remember, oh man, I got one guy out here who I actually know. So I give an old ringy-dingy to the Lama. You know, the Dalai Lama, his laminescence, flowing robes, the grace, bald, striking really.